Welcome into Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com.
Oh, yeah, boys. Another day, another dollar here. It is Friday, August 21st, 2020, the end of a very, very busy week. But yet, as we like to say, one step closer to the National Football League and their kickoff. Welcome into the show. This is Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com. And I am feeling good. Why is that? I said, look, you know, guys like to joke around like I'm an old man. I don't like to stay up all that late. But my play of the day last night was on the San Francisco Giants team total over 4.5. I'm looking at that 9:45 start. I'm going, this might be a late night for me tonight. So stay up, watching. First inning gets underway. The Angels score. I'm like, all right, don't do this to me where the other team's going to get the team total before I get mine. Bottom of the first, 2-run blast. Bottom of the second, 3 runs come across the board, and I get to go to bed early. Thank goodness. Like, it wasn't one of those 12:30 games where I had to sit there all night long, like, oh, sweat it out. Hopefully I get this W. Another clean, easy one. First 3 premium wagers on rightwager.com. Started on Saturday. Again, I only have 3 wagers since last Saturday because if it ain't right, we ain't firing on it. It's not about having fun making plays. Like, I do a lot of shows, sportsbookreview.com, where I come on and say, hey, man, here's the 5-6 plays that I like tonight, and let's see if we can win and break it down and share some information together. When the rubber meets the road, you don't have to bet every night. But when you square one up, like we've done 3 straight times, it's pretty fun, man. When you have no doubt about winners, not ones like, oh, man, I really blew that one. I'm talking about where you're going to bed after the 3rd inning with team totals. That's the way it's been as an opener. I hope it continues. And we'll see about with a nice card tonight. I was almost ready to fire on a game already today, just waiting to see if I can get a slight tick different number, and we'll be back in action. But premium cards have always been nice. You guys know I'm always third-party tracked, so you saw me tweet out today. Since switching over to CapperTech, which allows you to track team totals, it's been awesome, man. I've had a great run over the past year and a half since switching over to CapperTech. Welcome into the show. If you are new to the show and have not done so yet, hit that subscribe button. Click on the notification bell. Every time we go live right here on Sports Betting with Donnie, you get it delivered to your inbound accounts. I don't know. Where does it? I actually get the emails on, and they pop up on my phone. Usually get them like 5 minutes late too. So if you're just seeing those tickers come through there, you're 5 minutes late already for the show. But again, do thank you for tuning in. Obviously live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, and also on rightwager.com. And I have a little bit different of a camera angle today. We do a football show on sportsbookreview.com, do the baseball show as well. You have to get the heads lined up evenly. So both me and Kyle's heads will line up nicely here on the NFL now. So that had to change. Also moved the Lombardi Trophy in the background more into the forefront. And you guys know I love to mess around with my set. I really do. Like, I've changed. If you guys have seen anything here, yeah, CapperTech. I love CapperTech DTX. Great site. Fantastic site. Track all your plays. Put the plays in you have, not what the actual monitor says your number is and what play you want. It's a fantastic site. What's good, Doug? What's good? James is in here saying hello. Welcome to everybody here on a Friday on the show. Now, you guys know, if you've ever seen what I've done, and I would say, I've been online, selling picks packages and, calling radio shows and doing promos for a long time. Just about a decade. But really doing my own content. When did I actually start that? Where I learned a YouTube channel and, finally started getting on the air and taping things and putting them out and stuff. I don't know. 2012 maybe. I don't even know. I can't. It's been a long time, but my set has changed so many times, man. So many times. And it's because I like to improve myself and work at my craft, because you'll see a lot of people and you want to try to be as professional as you can. You don't have to in this day and age. Everybody thinks they can have a podcast or have fun. That's great, man. If that's what you want to do and it passes the time and you're really passionate about doing it, it really doesn't matter what your setup is. But I've always taken pride into adding little things as we go. So if you tune into my show and say, hey, look, it looks really clear. Hey, look, he's got an LED board in the background. Oh, my God, a Lombardi Trophy's back there. And he's always has monsters in the background. There's a monitor behind me. And, oh, my God, I have a monogram shirt with my logo on it. And you see me with, boom mics that come in from here, that come in from up top. You see me have it, the Yeti mic right in front of my face. Now I have a microphone that sits just in front of my dual monitors here that you just can't see. And I like to move around because I like to talk with my hands. I don't like anything more or less restricting on the screen anymore, where it's just like, you just see my head or something like that as you look up on the monitor. But it is, I always believe if you guys are doing whatever you are in life, whether you're a salesman, a tech guy, you work at the gas station, you're delivering pizzas to make ends meet, always improve yourself, man. If you invest in yourself and believe in what you do, companies will take a look. Your boss will like what you're doing. Hey, man, that's really passionate here. Because how many times do you see you come on a broadcast or, you see somebody coming in live, you try to be as professional as you can, whether it's, doing game time decisions on Sports Grid with Gabe, or if I'm doing any shows that I have on sportsbookreview.com, or even going right here live on Sports Betting with Donnie, or just putting out an edited video that says, hey, look at that green screen in the background. He actually, gives an effort or tries. Put as much as you can, because you never know who's watching anyway, or if anybody's watching at all. But if they see it and say, you know what, this guy sounds what he's like he knows what he's talking about and has a decent setup, must be something behind it here. It's the same thing with advertising. If you have a pretty good hoagie shop or pizza shop or chicken shop, whatever it is, if you advertise and the advertising looks good, people are like, you know what, I'm gonna have to check that out. How many times you get those Clipper coupons in the mail, and it's not even the restaurant's picture of the food on front, right? It says like Tommy's Pizza. I'm like, yo, that pizza looks good, man. That pizza looks really good. It might not even be his pizza, but you might give it a call. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, Tommy, let me get one of those large pies, man. They look pretty good, man. See? Look at that detail. See, there you go, man. Invest in yourself. There you go. Repo, baby. See that? It's a job out there for everybody. Hustle. You could make money in any industry you want. You could be in finance. You could be a repo guy. You could be a barber. You could be a DJ at weddings. You could do whatever you want in this great country, man. That's what's fantastic about it. You can wake up and decide, you know what? Hard work pays off, and I do it the right way. I'm going to be rewarded if I put that elbow grease in. Good stuff out there, DTX. Good stuff, man. All right, let's see what we got here. We got some topics that we do want to hit on and talk about, and I do want to go over the Major League Baseball card. Just as a quick preview, I have a couple games circled today because you guys know my, the way I go through my process. Wake up, circle really quickly, look at the board, circle a couple games. Lunchtime before my sportsbookreview.com show, like to zero in on a few games. But in the afternoon, we start to see some lineups come out. Now, also yesterday, because you know me, I like to sometimes wait till I shouldn't say sometimes, just about every time, wait till the lineups come out in Major League Baseball, since I'm a team total overbacker. You don't want to take the Angels if Mike Trout's not going to be in the lineup, and you say, hey, look, Trout should hit this guy. Oh, my God, Trout's not in the lineup tonight. So instead of getting like a 4.5, that now drops to 4, and you're like, oh, my God, what a stupid play by me. But yesterday, I fired early in the morning on that San Francisco game. I loved what I saw early. Even the lineup wasn't exactly the way I thought it would be. It didn't matter at all. They destroyed Suarez and ate right through that bullpen of the Los Angeles Angels. And actually, if you had the opposite side, too, you still got a winner there at the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. But also yesterday, which pissed me off, which I'm going to change up my strategy on Sportsbook Review. I am killing my pick fives on there. 3-1-1. Actually, 3-1 with a push yesterday on the 5. But I dropped my Milwaukee minus 105 as a play today. I'm going to change that up. That is definitely going to get changed up. I'm going to fire away on more plays because the pick fives have been absolutely killing it. And then I'm going off script for, a play of the day that hasn't worked out the past 2 days. Had a nice little streak coming into this week, and it ended. But the one thing I am killing is, premium plays all day long, baby. We're going to get after it. Now, let's get into the hot topics of the day. Start with it. There's some good stuff to talk about right here on Sports Betting with Donnie.
These are your Sports Betting with Donnie hot topics of the day.
Yeah. Lakers, Bucks. How about that? We were stressing, right? We were stressing out there. At least I should say Adam Silver was stressing out there. 2 top seeds, the 2 biggest draws in the NBA that he absolutely 1,000% needs to match up in the finals down in Orlando. That's the Milwaukee Bucks, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers. Both of those teams down 0-1, hearing it. You couldn't turn on ESPN out there, could you guys? Flip on ESPN. What are they talking about? Oh, my goodness. The Portland Trailblazers have the Lakers number. The Lakers might get swept out here. LeBron listened to it. AD listened to it. Danny Green listened to it. And they absolutely tore apart the Portland Trailblazers. I was hearing yesterday, before the game started in the afternoon, flipping on the radio, Look at this Portland team, the single best 8th seed to ever walk the planet. And I say to myself, slow down here. Slow down. This was a team coming into the bubble that had to earn its way in with an inch of its life to get the 8th seed. Okay, they were in playoff mode. The Lakers dilly-dallied for 8 games in the bubble, just trying not to get hurt. They came out flat in game 1. They had a fourth quarter lead. Dame was a great player, took over, and they won. And all of a sudden, that win propelled them to the Blazers are winning the NBA championship this year. Let's slow down. There's a reason why the Blazers are the 8th seed and the Lakers are number 1. Dame's a great player. LeBron's better. AD might be the best damn player on the court combined for both teams. So you put LeBron and AD, and it's funny because even on ESPN they were talking about yesterday, hey, what changes do the Lakers have to make, or do they need another piece? I thought the end-all, be-all was LeBron James and Anthony Davis, who are now together. And how about the stats that came up where they're talking about the Lakers? Haven't had like 100-point game in their last like 16 plays. It shows you how much the NBA has changed. And like their first playoff win, did I read that right? Did I absolutely read that? He did go crazy last night, winners. Did I read that right yesterday? With the first playoff win for the Lakers in since 2012? How crazy is that? Yeah, magic. I don't know. Hey, look, man, you never know. Vucevic might go wild out here. You never know. But that's a crazy statistic. That Lakers storied franchise, so long since they actually won a playoff game and scored 100 points in a playoff game. They played wonderful in that game. Lockdown defense blew them off the court. And then the Bucks on the opposite side, Giannis said, look, man, we ain't losing this team. And again, there's a reason why one team is a 1 seed and the other is an 8th seed. They came out serious, the Bucks. They came out and put this team away in the first half and cruised to an easy victory. Both favorites covered. And I believe both of those games also stayed under. But getting back to what the NBA needed, Adam Silver's like this. Thank you. Like he needed an absolute smoke after that. Because what would have happened if maybe the Bucks go down 0-2, the Lakers go down 0-2. The cash cows for the NBA, yeah, they'll put on a good face if Portland wins. And they'll be like, hey, man, anything can happen down here in the bubble. So at least they got by. But also, some other, talking NBA news here in the summer, and not so much about game to game to game and who's betting what or who's doing what. The NBA season they're talking about, and this is a great idea. This is a wonderful idea. Push the NBA season back till December every single year. It is a great business decision. It's a wonderful business decision. There's way too many games in the NHL. There are way too many games in the National Basketball League. But if you're going to mask that, we always laugh anyway, because you're talking about the average consumer is what the NBA wants to attract. The hardcore fan base is always going to watch the NHL. The hardcore fan base is always going to watch the NBA. Same thing with college football. The same thing with the NFL as well and Major League Baseball. That's not the audience that you're trying to attract, because those guys will always be there. But the fact that the NBA gets rolling in October or something? I know the NHL gets rolling in October. That's way too early. And I say it every single year. The NBA gets started on Christmas Day, when they broadcast 6 straight games starting at noon, go all the way through, marquee matchup after marquee matchup after marquee matchup. The NBA should start the regular season on Christmas Day to get the eyeballs, to get the people excited, and have a kickoff and run it later into the summer, just like we are now in August. You're only going up against baseball, which is a lazy sport anyway, where, again, people will watch, but you have every day. If you like your Phillies, if you like your Red Sox, if you like your Yankees, you're going to watch. And then things heat up in the playoffs and they try to get that national spotlight. But the NBA not playing in the summer next year would be a travesty. It should be December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. That should be it. And maybe stray into August with the NBA Finals. It's perfect. You want all those eyeballs on it. People are so consumed with football in the fall, heading into the winter. And like, are you caring about the Lakers? And again, I'm not talking about hardcore fans. Like, Laker fans are always going to care. Sixer fans will always care. Toronto Raptors fans will always care. But the national spotlight on a Wednesday night game, knowing there's an 82 game season in game 4, Lakers and OKC. Okay, what's that going to do? But if you push that back to where football season winds down, yeah, our eyes are going to be on the playoffs. But again, the playoffs are only going to be on Saturday and Sunday. And a lot of teams come playoff time again in the NFL, like it would be for any other league. A lot of those organizations have already been bounced out to the playoffs. And then that viewership will increase. And hey, you know what? I like football season. I'll watch on Sunday for the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles to play in the playoffs. But during the week, I'm going to settle in and start watching a little bit of basketball. That's fine in January. That would work really well, and I think it would help overall for the NBA ratings. Now, it's probably only going to be a one-time thing, but if they really were smart, wait out the NFL and get all eyeballs turned on yourself, because you can match up with Major League Baseball. Nobody watches the WNBA anyway, so you don't have to worry about going head-to-head with them. It's a wonderful, wonderful idea, because also you're talking about maybe, hockey, if they just go back to normal, then you have the summer to yourself. And again, there's not many eyeballs on hockey outside of hockey fans, and I'm watching my Philadelphia Flyers, yes, but outside of that, there's really no reason to do stuff like that. Not enough TV slots. Now there aren't enough TV slots, yeah, but I'm talking about like if the NHL plays its regular season next year, because again, they're not a national brand. They're not even on ESPN. You have to fight trying to hide them on, like, you pick up a gown and the Rangers are playing the Islanders on MSNBC. You can't even find what actual channel it is there. So that's an always interesting, thing to predict. But hey, I'm always thinking about making the game better. So obviously there's a lot more things that go into it, like how much money you're going to make and stretch out the season and do this, do that. But I think it's just awesome. And this whole pandemic schedule that they have, where you can tune into a basketball game during midday. It's like the NCAA tournament. We get excited for a couple weeks in March and April, where it's like, oh my God, like that Thursday, that Friday, that Saturday, that Sunday opening weekend is all day long and it rolls through. I mean, it's pretty cool the way it sits, the way it hangs out like that. Going to take a quick break here. 1 minute. I'll be back. RightWager.com. Hot on the premium season. 3-0 to open the season. You know the place to get those picks, RightWager.com. This is Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com. Be back in a minute.
Hey guys, Donnie here with RightWager.com, your handicapping home on the internet. As you know, we specialize in NFL, Major League Baseball, and NCAA hoops. And as always, we are 100% verified on third-party CapperTech.com. If you are a gambler, this is your place to be. Affordable packages, 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, 6 months, and even up to a year. Also, when you stop by the site, you'll notice sports content right here with the live broadcast home of Sports Betting with Donnie. There is no better place to be in the handicapper community than RightWager.com. And as always, I like to say, what side are you on?
Only side to be out there, Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com, is on the right side. So hopefully we'll be able to kick out a premium play, pick up another dub today, but certainly be able to hit that card hard. And also what I'm trying to figure out as well, we're going to talk Major League Baseball here in just a moment, but I'm trying to figure out, because it's so convoluted with like the free play video that comes out. And I like to do content that I get excited by. So I'm trying to figure out a way that I can include, because I know I do already a breakdown show at sportsbookreview.com for Major League Baseball. And obviously I'm going to have the NFL content, which already started up on Wednesday, which I'm going to have another live show today at 4 o'clock on Sportsbook Review. We are going to do the NFC North preview, some odds, team totals. Just a little round talk here, just to try to get excited for football season until we actually see it on the TV. But I'm trying to figure out a concept which makes sense that people will watch. And it's not a long thing. It's like, oh my God, I got to sit through an hour show with Donnie talking about Major League Baseball. No, I want to keep something around that, maybe 5, maximum 10-minute mark of when the lineups come out. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm liking. Here's a couple plays you could chew on to make some money. Just something that would be enjoyable to watch, really quick, really easy, get in, get out content, because that's what I always preach there, specifically on the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball show with me and Jason. We do a great job. We hit damn near the entire card in 30 minutes to give out plays. Other shows spend an hour and a half, 2 hours capping 19 different sports at one time. But, time is money for a lot of you guys out here. When you see something you're more likely to watch, like if it's YouTube, say, hey, I got a couple nice plays here and it's a 4-minute video, you would tune into that. If it's a video that says I have a couple nice plays and it's an hour and 32 minutes, you're like, dude, I'm out, man. Or, hey, I'm really interested in baseball or NFL tonight. I don't want to sit through NHL, horse racing, baseball, WNBA, NBA, and all that stuff. So I'm trying to figure out something that's going to really work for you guys. They say, you know what, this is pretty good stuff. Let me tune into this. So I have a couple ideas in mind, which it's Friday. I'm really busy with content today, but I'm going to think about what is actually going to make sense that can fit into my schedule, but also fit into the likes of what you guys would want to watch and what you guys would want to tune into. Now, let's get to the Padres. And I don't know what's going on the West Coast. I don't know what's up with this team, but we knew they were talented coming in. But did we know that they would absolutely break it down with grand slams every single night? It's almost like a running joke. Like I sit here at night when I'm, watching my game or keeping an eye on something or checking out tomorrow, just doing content or updates or notes, whatever it is. And every night, the past 4 nights, it's coming across home run tracker, grand slam, San Diego Padres. A fun team. You're talking about a team also that plays in a pitcher's ballpark. They're doing damage. Look at the numbers that come up. Like, I'm just going to bring up, let's just say what they got going on here tonight before we even break down any other baseball games. Like San Diego and Houston tonight, Lance McCullers going to be on the mound, 4.80 xFIP on the season, not doing well with lefties or righties. But the reason I want to bring it up is when you look at the lineup here for the San Diego Padres coming into tonight, hitting right-handed batters, because most of these guys, look, a lot of these guys, Grisham has 83 at-bats against righties this year. Tatis has 85 at-bats. Machado's got 81 at-bats. You have a good feel for how these guys are actually doing, which is why I wait a couple weeks into the Major League Baseball season, so you have some legitimate statistics to go off of. But look at the weighted on-base average of the guys up top. Grisham versus righties, a 408 weighted on-base average. Tatis, 481. Machado, 341. Hosmer, 375. Cronenworth, get to know that kid, 431. And when you take a look at the ISO, this is the anticipated lineup tonight. The first 6 guys in the lineup, ISO power. You want to be around that like 180 range or higher, and you're raking. Grisham, 269. Tatis, 455. Machado, 232. Hosmer, 345. Will Myers, 216. And Cronenworth, 364. They'll probably do it again tonight, right? Team total for the Padres, absolutely destruction, terror, and mayhem. It's fun, man. That show's a lot of fun to do. It's not even work. You wake up sometimes, I know a lot of you guys watching this video now are watching it on replay, like, man, I hate going to work. Like, my wife's in finance, and every day it's like, I wish this day was over. It's not like that. It's not like that on that baseball show with Jason. So easy to work with. We keep it moving. We have fun. We joke around. We get in, we get out. Knock out some plays, and it just works out well. But those Padres, man, let's get the updated numbers on the standings in Major League Baseball, because I didn't think they would be able to challenge the Dodgers out west. I still don't know if they can, but they're fun, man. 19-8, Los Angeles Dodgers. The Padres 15-12, the Rockies 13-12, the Diamondbacks 13-13. And the San Francisco Giants, 11-16. It's amazing, man. It feels like baseball just started like last week, though. Like, I'm looking at the Giants played 27 times. Honest to God, it feels like baseball is like 2 weeks old, and they have that many games in. And then you see teams like the Los Angeles Dodgers at 19-8 with 27 games in. And then you see the St. Louis Cardinals at 7-7 with only 14 games in. Marlins with 18 games in. But the Phillies, you know what? Here we go. Let's slot this down here. The Phillies. I mean, I do know where to start. They sit at 9-12. They've lost what? Is it 4 in a row or 3 in a row now? I want to say 3 in a row, right? They lost the last game up in Boston, which was a 2-game series. And they lost a doubleheader to the Buffalo, the Buffalo Blue Jays, the Toronto Blue Jays. But I don't know if I've ever seen it in my life, an entire staff. And when I say an entire staff, I'm talking Aaron Nola is a really good pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. Zach Wheeler is a really good pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. 2 big money guys getting their job done. Outside of those 2 pitchers on this staff, every single person sucks. Every single one of them. Jake Arrieta, Mr. I'm going to huff and puff, look tough, and I'll be out there for 4 innings. I'll give you everything I got for 4 innings, man. It's like a guy trying to talk to a girl. I'll give you everything I got for 2 minutes. I'm good for 2 minutes, and then it's over. So when you look at Arrieta and Zach Eflin's and the Spencer Howards, we're anticipating Spencer Howard coming up, and the Vince Velasquez 5 innings, 5 earned runs that these guys give you, and to start a double header with 2 guys that can't get you innings is hilarious. Joe Girardi, Matt Klentak, Andy McPhail, listen to me when I say, when there is a double header and you know it's coming, skip Aaron Nola, skip Zach Wheeler in the rotation. For every double header, let them pitch the double header so they can go complete game and just leave them out there so you don't have to deal with the bullpen. Vince Velasquez was embarrassing yesterday once again. Oh, but he made it into this. 5 innings, 4 earned runs is not a quality start in Major League Baseball. An ERA of 8 is not a quality starter in Major League Baseball. A bullpen that's got like an ERA of 1 million is not quality. And yes, I know if you watched that 6th inning yesterday, there were 2 errors and also a wild pitch and 2 awful errors on straight up just easy ground balls, booted or thrown away. The Phillies shouldn't have lost that game in any way, shape, or form. But it doesn't help when you have a bullpen that if you give an extra out, the dam breaks every single time. Game 1 of the doubleheader, they had a lead. They blew it because the bullpen stinks. Game 2, they had a 7-0 lead to start off. And then, again, I'm going to talk about, the Phillies bullpen, which really pisses me off. But this has a lot to do. Any else to game of votes? I don't know about that, Niger. I don't know about that. I don't know who's going to be voting on that. But any team that has the pitcher's most important thing is a shutdown inning. You can equate the same thing to you have the opening drive in football. You punch it in to go up 7-0. Your defense comes out on the field, and their job is to get a stop, not let the other team drive down and score right off of what you did or even kick a field goal at all. Your job is to get off the field and hold the momentum. You saw it yesterday. The Phillies in the first inning put 7 on the board in the first inning. Now, forget about the Phillies didn't even score another run the rest of the game on the bullpen because the Blue Jays bullpen laughs at the Phillies batters and laughs at the Phillies bullpen. Not even the case. But how you know Vince Velasquez is such a trash can pitcher and a trash can MO in Major League Baseball is when you get that 7-0 lead, your job as a pitcher to be like, you know what, guys, this is a shutdown inning coming in. Like the door will be shut immediately in this ball game. But you know what Vince Velasquez does? Gives up 2 right away. Bing, bing. Bottom of the first. And you say, oh, well, they still got a 5-run lead. It's not the point. It's psychology for the other team. You get up 7-0. They are so deflated on the other side. Like, dude, it's only a 7-inning game, man. We ain't got no shot here. They come up to the plate and they're just, we don't do this. So, let me just see what happens. And say, hey, we got 2. Okay. We got 6 more bats here. Let's see if we just hang around and see what happens. But if you slam the door shut in the first inning at 7-0, they're going through the motion the rest of the way. Yeah, I know they know the Phillies bullpen stinks. I get it. But you need a shutdown pitcher. And again, with the Phillies offense, you scored 7 times in the first inning. So if we had the 14-inning doubleheader, the Phillies scored 8 runs in inning 1 of those 2 ball games, 1 run the rest of the 12 innings. And all you need to do is add tack-on runs. You want to score 7 in the first? That's awesome, right? How about you pick up 1 in the 4th? How about you pick up 1 in the 6th? You just keep on throwing another dart out there for the other team to overcome. When the faucet shuts off and you can't do a damn thing, the other team feels like they're only an inning away. We need to chip away. What's your job as an offense? To chip that iceberg away. Boom. Hey, look at that. We got 8 now. Oh, you scored 2. Well, we got 1 back. Damn, it's 8-2. We ain't never winning this game. Unbelievable how bad that Phillies bullpen is. That's absolutely just a straight-up disgrace at that point. Just a straight-up disgrace. I'm going to take one final quick break here. Going to spend the last 15 minutes talking a little bit more Major League Baseball, what happened yesterday, what pertains to today. Good people at SBRodds.com and SportsbookReview.com. Check it out, 30 seconds. I'll be back. We're going to talk Major League Baseball right here. Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com.
Hey guys, Donnie here with SportsBookReview.com, the single best place on the internet for video and also written sports content. You see me do a lot of videos on our YouTube channel at SBR Sports Picks, bringing you all the latest up-to-date information. And also, if you want to win at sports betting, it's always important to get the best lines possible. So check out SBRodds.com, SportsBookReview.com.
You know what time it is, sportsbookreview.com. Been with them for 4 years now. This will be coming into my fourth football season, and kicking off the content, we opened up with the NFC East. On Wednesday, both myself and DFS Bachelor Kyle Purviance will be back today talking a little bit of NFC North. You know, it could go 20 minutes, could go 25, could go 30, could go 40 minutes. Just a nice little roundtable talk and discussion, throw some odds out there, what we think, because contrary to popular belief, there is going to be a football season this year, just because we don't see it on TV. And I got to tell you, yesterday, catching up with Hard Knocks, starting to get a little bit more feel, starting to enjoy it a little bit more. But it's, football just running around in, T-shirts, guys with masks on. It's not really that exciting to me. You don't see any fights because there's nothing really to fight about. No tempers are really flaring just yet. Nobody getting into it. We're worried about just like taking tests for coronavirus. And I saw Jalen Ramsey shopping for a house, which was a wild looking house, man. Looked like he had a ton of space and a ton of room. We can frolic and get around. The life of a professional athlete must be something else. But anyway, let's talk a little bit of Major League Baseball talk. Yesterday, Tampa Bay Rays, I put a tweet out yesterday, the Rays just absolutely bodying the Yankees in this series. Looked like the Yankees might be able to steal one. 5-run inning by Tampa Bay put that one to rest. Spencer Howard in the first game with the Phillies, they lose 3-2. We talked about it already. Giolito goes a 9-0 shutout win over Detroit. That stank Detroit lineup. You got some talent in that Chicago White Sox lineup that we know can eventually come through. Tim Anderson, a nice little hustle piece back in front, leading off for that team. A lot of weapons all the way through. And then stank Vince Velasquez in the favored role with the Philadelphia Phillies. Dropped that one. That over-under in that game was 8.5 for a 7-inning game. Then it was 17 runs. That ballpark is tiny. I don't know which ballpark's smaller, the Yankees ballpark or the AAA ballpark up there in Buffalo. Cleveland, I had part of my 5-pack yesterday on the Major League Baseball show. 2-0 winner over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Stays easily under 8.5. Dodgers 6-1 over Kikuchi and the boys. Barrios looks really good in a nice bounce back start finally yesterday to my demise. I thought Milwaukee would win that game. It was 2-1 late. And the Twins absolutely tack on and end that game. I thought this game would go over the total yesterday. Boston and Baltimore. That game ends up 7-1 as a final with the Red Sox winning. Over under in that game was 9.5. I thought they would get more runs, but I guess we're finally starting to see. And a little of this also pertains to the Miami Marlins, where the little engine that could was a really fun story, but they stink, and they're back to stinking, and they should stink with both of those teams, the Marlins and also the Orioles with $3 payrolls. That eventually catches up to you when other teams actually have a payroll and can throw some weapons at you. Texas and San Diego, again, a wild one, 8-7. That over-under was 8 on the board. They ended up with 15 total runs. San Diego sneaks that out. And again, the big story of that Padres game was the grand slam for the 4th straight night. Can they make it 5 straight nights? Sonny Gray goes down to the St. Louis Cardinals yesterday, 5-4. And the only reason why Sonny Gray goes down, it wasn't his fault. It was the bullpen's fault. And that was the only loss I had yesterday on my Major League Baseball 5-pack. Was on the under in that game, which should have came in easily, but a complete meltdown in the 9th inning by the Reds cost me that total. Oakland 5-1 over Arizona. Arizona just, I guess they can't hit on the road. Back-to-back nights with what, 1 run? I don't even know if they got 2 runs the night before. They're back to stinking. And then my crown jewel of the night, those San Francisco Giants hitting their team total in the 2nd inning on their way to double-digit runs. Easily hitting the total, scoring 15 in that game. And look, Suarez was going to get built to get blown up yesterday, and we should have known that, and we did know it, and we were able to nail that and actually, make some good money on that stuff. Today's card, let me see if I can't bring it up on the screen here. I don't have it loaded up. But we'll talk a little bit about Major League Baseball and some of the doings and goings on. All the pitching matchups look to be set up. First game of the day, chronological order, 6 o'clock, Miami, which is interesting. A little code change here with Major League Baseball because you remember when the Marlins were having all those issues, they actually took the Phillies off the field for a good full week to let them go. But Miami is still going to be able to play, even though the Mets had a player and also had a coach test positive of COVID. So the Mets have canceled their game today with the New York Yankees, which was scheduled for Citi Field. But the Miami Marlins are going to head up to Washington and take on Patrick Corbin, high number -190, but opened up on a $2 price. That sits at 8.5 across the board. And I think maybe the steam is out of the sails for Miami. Good luck going up against Corbin today and certainly being on the road. Schumacher, however you want to pronounce that yourself, versus Yarborough, Toronto, and Tampa Bay. Brewer and Means on the mound. So look, that's one of those games where, again, you're looking at there should be runs, but are we going to fall back and say we knew Baltimore couldn't hold up their end of the bargain this long? They can't be raking for this long, can they? And that's what you're going to have to decide for yourself because, I mean, Brewer stinks as a pitcher. Means isn't that good. Boston can stack right-handed batters, and it's a cheap number across the board at -115. Are we finally saying, look, Boston's not that great of a team either, but Boston overall as a team has a much better talent pool than Baltimore does, who was playing way over his head to start the season. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh, Kuhl versus Hauser. High number here. Pinnacle opened that game at -160 in the favor of Milwaukee. That's now down to -135 and over-under between 8.5 and 9s across the board. Philadelphia Phillies back in play. Aaron Nola's on the mound. He'll keep a minute versus Max Fried, who's been pretty good on the season. They open up as a favorite at Land, and now it's down to a pick on -110 with an over-under of 8 across the board down in Hot Land. And let's see if we got some not that bad. 78 degrees, light wind blowing in. So not as hot as you possibly would think, or maybe that mugginess would set in down in Atlanta. We'll see if that changes up. Fulmer versus Plutko, 8 out of every 10 tickets coming in early on the Indians in this one, 175 to 185, depending on where you're shopping at, and a total of 8.5. Now, looking at this game, my ears jump up because I do like to see the Cleveland Indians team total and see how that can play out because they do match up against Fulmer. But again, how much runs do they actually need in this ballgame? That's stank lineup, as I said, with the Detroit Tigers. Very hit and miss. Minnesota and Kansas City, Odorizzi versus Duffy. Minnesota opens up as a favorite. Why not? They got everything you need. Good bullpen, good starting pitching, elite level talent in their 1 through 9 starting 9. 967, 968, the Chicago White Sox. Dallas Keuchel is going to go on the mound versus another lefty, John Lester. I think the White Sox match up pretty well in this game, and you saw the favorite open up -110 towards the Chicago Cubs, and that's flipped over to a -111 on the opposite side with the White Sox and Dallas Keuchel. Two good hitting lineups in this game. So if we're looking at a 9.5, and this isn't Chicago, not on the south side, but on the north side, wind is blowing out to left field and sort of center field. Got some nice weather too, 80 degrees at first pitch. So that might be something that you want to keep an eye on. Both of those lineups had some pretty good hitters in it. Maybe you can look at a total in that one. DeSclafani looking to bounce back after getting annihilated in his last start versus Dakota Hudson. Line opened up roughly a pick 'em, stated a pick 'em, certainly still would a pick 'em at most outlets. 9s across the board as a total. Texas and the Seattle Mariners, Allard versus Margevicius. 115 favored for Texas. That's now to a 124. Houston and those San Diego Padres. Padres a slight favorite at -125. Garrett Richards, decent pitcher of the season. McCullers hasn't gotten it back to where he was pre-injury. Might then tonight be that night. But you're looking at that Padres lineup, man, that's absolutely raking this year. And it's almost one of those things that you say when the Dodgers get hot, like, dude, when those bats are hot, they're going to put up 5+ runs, and that's seemingly what they're doing. And also, McCullers, again, not having a great start to the season here post-injury. We'll see if he gets it together. Heaney and Fires, another game that you would look at and say there should be runs here, but Oakland Coliseum plays a little bit finicky here. Let's see I don't have the weather conditions up in front of me, but if it's, in that 60-degree range, ball doesn't travel all that well in Oakland. Colorado and Los Angeles. Walker Buehler looking to try to improve his 2020 season, going up against John Gray. Heavy favorite, which they always are, -230. And again, Buehler's not that shutdown pitcher that we would like to see him be this year all that yet. And then another game, do we go back to the well? Arizona and San Francisco, Ray versus Webb. Ray is struggling, even though it's like, Donnie, last game, he went 5 innings, had a no-hitter going. Had like 6 or 7 walks in that game, though. He's got a high xFIP. If you're putting guys on base, eventually you're going to make them pay. And the San Francisco Giants coming into last night at home at AT&T Park or Oracle Park, whatever they call it now, they've been averaging 6 runs or more, 6.14 runs per game at home, and that increases yesterday after a 10 spot. So that's another one going to take a look at. Opened up at 9.5, still sitting at 9.5 across the board. I believe it's 4.5 for team totals for both sides in this game, and I think both of these pitchers can be hit. Let me just take a quick look at the weather. Same exact weather basically as last night. High 60s when the game starts, dips into the lower 60s, and the wind is always blowing out. Seems like the dead center field at Oracle Park. But that is today's Major League Baseball card. Going to spend about the next hour and a half sharpening my pencil, getting us ready for the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball show with both myself and Jason Radowitz. Then I got a little bit of time to shoot some videos. Got to pick up the kid at camp. Then I got to come back and shoot another live video for sportsbookreview.com. And that's going to be for the NFC North NFL preview, both myself and also Kyle provides. So certainly tune into that. Doing a thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Sports Betting with Donnie and another week of Sports Betting with Donnie. If you're watching and haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button there on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button on Periscope. Twitch, you could become a follower. I think I have like 15 followers on Twitch, which is amazing, because I don't really know what Twitch really is supposed to be other than a gaming platform. But on StreamYard, gives you the option to broadcast it there, and also broadcasting both on Facebook. So come say hello on any one of those networks. Again, another week in the books, 3-0 in premium play so far in our opening week in the Major League Baseball season. Let's continue tonight. So obviously, check out rightwager.com. But I'll be back on the show on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, right here on Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by rightwager.com.